The Ford CMAX doesn't particularly fit into a certain class of vehicle. Many people may call it a wagon, a hatchback, or even a crossover perhaps. Whatever it may be, the CMAX is a great choice for anyone looking for a practical, fuel-efficient vehicle. So let's go ahead and check out and take a closer look at this 2017 Ford CMAX Energi. Now the CMAX has been out in its first generation ever since the 2013 model year, and Ford has slightly updated the vehicle for 2017. They've updated the front headlights as well as the taillights too. They have a more sculpted look this time around, but not much has changed for the vehicle. And the CMAX can be had in a regular hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, and Ford calls that the Energi. Now here goes the key fob design for the vehicle. You have your lock, unlock, and then your panic alarm and to release your trunk. And our model of the CMAX is also the plug-in hybrid version as well. Now this color of the CMAX is known as the magnetic gray. You also do have a keyless entry pad. And you also find the two-toned gray and black cloth interior, but Ford calls this their charcoal black. And you also do have your power driver's seat with your power recline and power lumbar. Now stepping on inside of the CMAX here, it's a decent looking cabin layout. However, it's getting slightly long in the tooth, but you'll pretty much see this same interior layout for the most part in the Ford Escape as well as the Ford Focus. They have a pretty similar looking design. You have a full leather wrap steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, CVT automatic transmission here with lower gear selection. And when you put the vehicle into reverse, this will display your rear view camera with guidance signs and trajectory. It's also pretty nice is that you can zoom in too. Now let's go ahead and check out the exterior of the CMAX. Automatic driver's side window. Heated exterior mirrors with side turn signal indicators. And of course, with the plug-in hybrid, you have to plug in the vehicle. And the CMAX here can use a 240 volt outlet source, which takes 2.5 hours to charge, or you could do a 120 volt outlet source, which takes about 5 hours to charge. Coming up front here, you have halogen projector beam headlights with LED daytime running lights. Now the CMAX Energi here uses a 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder engine paired with an electric motor that are fed by a 7.6 kilowatt lithium ion battery pack. Now the CMAX Energi can also go from 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds and can travel on electric mode only for up to about 19 miles. Now if you compare the CMAX Energi to the Toyota Prius Prime, the Prius Prime is significantly better when using it in electric mode only, as well as the Chevrolet Volt. But the 0 to 60 time isn't too bad on the CMAX Energi, and it provides an okay amount of power. Now, the plug-in hybrid segment is still a relatively small class, but it's getting more competitive each and every year. Now, with the CMAX Energi, you can compare this vehicle to the Chevrolet Volt. You also do have the Toyota Prius Prime, as well as the new Hyundai Ioniq plug-in. Go for the regular CMAX hybrid, then you're looking at the regular Toyota Prius. You also do have the hybrid version of the Hyundai Ioniq, and you can also look at the Kia Niro. Now, the final assembly point for this vehicle is in Michigan, and the country of origin for the engine is in Mexico, and the transmission is the United States. Here's some of the parts content information too. You also do have a rear window wiper, rear window defroster, third brake light, as well as rear parking sensors. Overall vehicle score from the government 5-star safety ratings is a 4 out of 5. Total vehicle price $29,290. Of course, you have all of your basic power necessities: power windows, power mirrors, power door locks. Now, interior quality in the CMAX is pretty good. You have soft touch materials everywhere inside of this vehicle. You'll find that on the door panels, on top of the dashboard as well. Build quality isn't too bad either. Everything feels pretty sturdy inside of here for the most part. And overall, I'm quite impressed with the interior quality. Coming to the steering wheel design, the steering wheel uses pretty much the same steering wheel design in the Focus and the Escape, unsurprisingly. But you have your cruise control buttons down here, as well as your controls for the left driver information display, and then you also do have your informations for other things like your entertainment, phone, fuel economy, and these are controlled by the buttons on here. And then you also do have your voice recognition as well as your Bluetooth phone controls. And the steering wheel also does manually tilt and telescope with a pretty good range of adjustment here. Up here you also find a manually dimming rearview mirror, a sunglass container, and then down here 12-volt power outlet, dual cup holders, parking brake. Then we have 2 USB charging ports and then a little tray. Center console is pretty deep. Can be a little hard, maybe a little hard to find something down there. And then you also do have another 12-volt power outlet. So it goes your glove box compartment. And you also do have dual zone automatic climate control with your temperatures, different fan speeds, as well as your different zones too. The seats in the CMAX are a little on the firm side, but I think they'll be comfortable for most people, as the thigh support is also pretty good. But there's not a whole lot of side bolstering on the sides right here, and they definitely need a little bit more cushion in the seats. Visibility out of the CMAX is pretty good. There's lots of glass area all around, and I love the front quarter windows, which helps out on visibility. Seeing out of the windshield is pretty easy too. And when you get to rearward visibility, decent amount of glass area. The infotainment system in the head unit in the CMAX is the Sync 3 infotainment system. Excellent interface here. It's very intuitive and fairly responsive. Now, this is your home screen right here. This pretty much shows you everything that's important that you use on a daily basis, such as your audio source, your compass, as well as your Bluetooth device too. And then your different audio sources do include all of the norm AM, FM, XM satellite radio, your CD player with your optical disc drive, and then your Bluetooth streaming audio. But I just love the responsiveness of this touchscreen here. You can add your Bluetooth phone and hook up your Bluetooth devices on this system here, and then have all of your contacts stored on here. And then you have your apps too. Love the power flow monitor, which is kind of like the Energi monitor in the Toyota Prius. Then you also do have many different settings that you could change. You have 911 assistance, and then your sound, clock, Bluetooth, phone, radio. And then you could swipe like this, which has like a natural tablet-like feel, which is pretty cool. You also do have onboard Wi-Fi, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. And then you have your charge settings, valet mode, display settings, many different settings that you could change here. And you have your vehicle settings, like the camera settings, all that good stuff. But overall, I love this head unit here. It's really intuitive and fairly simple and easy to use. Coming to the gauges and the instrument cluster, on the left side you do have your driver information, such as your trip information, fuel gauge, And then your information such as your my key, your system check. And then over here you have settings such as your vehicle, like the lighting, remote start. And then you have your driver assistance, like the Eco Cruise, rear parking aid, traction control, display settings, like your brake coach, battery display, units, language. And on the right side here, you also do have your entertainment, your phone, fuel economy, which gives you little leaves if you're driving fuel efficiently. Then you have your phone, as well as your entertainment. You could change your audio source from here, which is cool too. And then in the center, we also do have your speedometer too. But overall, it's a pretty good setup here. You also find the same setup in the Escape, as well as the Focus, many other Fords. Now, since the CMAX is heavily related to the Escape as well as the Focus, it's no surprise here that the CMAX has pretty refined driving dynamics and handling. Now, it feels pretty nimble and sharp around corners and compared to most vehicles in this class, and it doesn't have that numb, vague steering that you'll find in many other hybrids and plug-in hybrids. But the CMAX is certainly one of the better handling vehicles in its class if you're looking for a little bit of fun in your daily driving. Now, the 2-liter 4-cylinder provides enough power for the CMAX. There's no need for more power here, but it won't provide a thrilling experience in terms of acceleration. I think that if you're looking for better acceleration, go with the Chevrolet Volt. But the CMAX Energi here, if you're looking for a decent amount of driver engagement as well as decent fuel efficiency, then the CMAX is a pretty good choice. What I also love about the CMAX is that it features a really roomy interior. I mean, I have lots of room to stretch out my legs and plenty of headroom inside of here too. And I love the elevated driving position as well. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the vehicle. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the CMAX. Build quality somewhat follows through in the rear of the CMAX. Now, sitting back here, I love the room it has for the legroom, and there's plenty of headroom too. Love that. Dual map pockets and rear air vents, as well as a 110 volt power outlet. That's certainly welcomed back here, as well as a rear center armrest too, with cup holders. My biggest gripe about sitting back here are the seats themselves. Very firm, even firmer than the front seats, and they certainly need a lot more cushion. Kind of feels like you're sitting on top of a rock. It feels like you're sitting on them rather than in them. But at least they do recline. That's a nice little feature there. All right. Also do have a power liftgate. Now, due to the battery pack, this takes up a considerable amount of cargo space. But at least the rear seats do fold down. But if you didn't have this huge battery pack back here, then the CMAX would have a decent amount of cargo space. But just go with the Ford Escape if you need more cargo space. So with its refined driving dynamics and handling, its roomy interior for 4 full-sized adults, and its simple and easy to use technology, the 2017 Ford CMAX Hybrid and Energi make for a pretty good choice for a fuel efficient and a practical vehicle. However, if you are looking for more cargo space, you may want to check elsewhere. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.